Good morning, YouTube. My name is Alex. Welcome back to the Lifting Nomad. It is cold in Canada today, so we're back to the toque weather. It's crazy how fast things change around here, but we were just in shorts and t-shirts. Now we're in the time for the toque, time for the winter jackets. Today's video, I want to talk about how long it actually takes to get shredded. I went from this to this, but there's a lot of workouts, a lot of meals, and a lot of work that went into that. So let's talk about how long it actually takes for you to get shredded. Without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, we're back in the garage gym. And like I said, I want to talk about how long it actually takes to get shredded. Now, as I saw, I'll show you again a little preview here, what I used to look like and what I've looked like over the years. I'm someone who grew up genetically pretty fat. Like my family's, none of us are really in good shape. I don't have good vascularity. I have a six pack and sausage fingers. It's just kind of the way my genetics have landed. At the same time, I have a full head of hair that seems to be, so far, bulletproof. We'll see if it lasts into my 30s shortly, but so far so good. And for me, it was really difficult to actually get shredded. It took a long time. In 2016, I reached my heaviest. I was like 215. I'm like 5'11", so I'm not exactly short. I definitely wasn't, obese or fat, but I would say I was fat. I was getting definitely up there. And it really hit me that I wanted to change my life and make a lifestyle shift and become more healthy and become just, I wanted to get ripped. And that's like really what I wanted my whole fitness career, was to get properly in shape. So from 2016 until like early 2017, I did like a very, very drastic shift in my lifestyle. I went from not really exercising and eating like shit to 6 days a week. I was lifting and I was doing 45 minutes on the elliptical every single day for like 6 months. Ended up losing 50 pounds. I went from 215 down to like 165. And when I got down to this, I wasn't like ripped by any stretch. I didn't really have any muscle definition. I still had no vascularity and I wasn't really strong. All I really did was just lose a ton of fat and I guess like maintain a little bit of muscle, but I was far from like in shape or athletic. And then over the next couple of years, I kind of just fucked around without a plan, as I know a lot of people end up doing. And my progress basically was stagnant throughout this period. I had some, ups and downs. I was up to like 180, then back down to 165 for vacations, and then kind of sitting around 175 for a long time. And I wasn't really ever on a progressive system of weightlifting. And I think this is one of the biggest traps that a lot of people fall into, is they just go to the gym without a plan. Right? And it's kind of like spinning your tires in the dirt or going on the road without like a GPS or at least a map to pick somewhere where you're going. It's like getting on a highway and just driving with no end in sight or no direction. And of course you're gonna go somewhere, but it might not be where you want to go. So when you're looking at your fitness journey and your goals, biggest thing I would say is setting up a plan of what you want to accomplish. First of all, do you want to get stronger? Do you want to be like, increase the strength of your lifts? You don't really care what you look like. Do you want to just get healthier? Maybe lose a little weight, lose a little bit of body fat. Do you want to get beach shredded? Do you want to get huge? Like, find a goal, and then that's what you want to research and focus on. It's tough to say, I want to be a marathon runner. I also want to be an elite powerlifter. I also want to have six-pack abs. I also want to bulk up. You can't really do everything at once. As you can see, your body is incredibly adaptive, but when you're trying to do too many things at once, you kind of just become a jack of all trades and a master of none, in the sense that your body isn't gonna focus on one area. Like, the second time I got in shape, just to keep kind of following this timeline, was COVID, was when I first actually got like proper ripped. I went from, these pictures here, this was March 2020 to like June of 2020. I went from 178, 179 to like 155, 156. And this was over a period of 4 months. I did 75 hard and I ended up fucking up and missing a few days early on and had to go a little bit longer. But this was really, really rigorous training. I was measuring my calories, my steps, my exercise every single day. I was doing cardio. 75 hard, one of the things you have to do, one exercise inside for 45 minutes, one exercise outside for 45 minutes every single day for basically 3 months. Is what I did. And during that time, that's when I lost that 25 pounds. But I think a lot of people underestimate how far away they are from being beach shredded. Like when I was 179, I thought I was like pretty strong and like I could bench my body weight maybe. And like I wasn't that strong, don't get me wrong. But I thought, okay, I'm maybe 5 to 10 pounds away from having abs. Got down into the high 160s, no abs. Got down into the low 160s, no abs. Got into like the high 150s, started to see a little bit of abs, but it really wasn't until I was in the mid 150s that I had true abs. So you generally, if you're trying to get beach shredded, like I said, with all those different directions, if your focus was beach ripped, which mine was, you're probably twice as far away as you think. If you think you're only 10 pounds away, you probably have to lose 20, and so on and so forth. So it's really a matter of understanding your expectations, and then how long to get there depends on where your starting point is and what you want to, get to. If you want to get like single digit body fat, like here I was probably the most ripped I've ever been. That was single digits. I had like shoulder striations and chest vascularity, and that's hard to sustain, first of all, and it takes a long time to get there. If you want to just get like beach lean, which is kind of what I'm at right now, I want to lose a little bit more body fat right now, and then do like a year slow bulk of like 1 pound a month. Like I need to put size on my body while I'm in my physical prime. So that's my focus right now. But the time it takes is really a long time. Like, if you look at this from 2016 when I was out of shape, or average, maybe like 2017 when I was 200 pounds, I was average. That's a lot of people are in that boat of kind of like, dad bod sort of style. It's like 6 months to get skinny, a year or 2 years to get like athletic. That's it, especially if you're natural. If you're like me, have bad genetics and in natural, it takes a long time. So not saying, to discourage you or anything, but just keep that in mind while you're trying to set your expectations and looking at YouTube and TikTok and these reels of people who are getting it like ripped in like 6 months, probably not natural. That's just the way to understand it. The other thing to consider is genetics. Don't compare your genetics to someone else's because your body is unique. If everyone on earth got on the same training program, ate the same amount of food, did the same amount of exercise every single day, none of us would look the same. That's just the reality. Some people have better genetics, some people have worse genetics, some people gain weight easier, some people lose weight easier. It's not necessarily body types, but more so the actual genetic potential and the genetic limits. Like for instance, if you're trying to get really, really shredded, some people have an easier time doing that and can get shredded faster. My genetics, I gain weight incredibly easily. If I'm in like just to get specific with it, when I was losing all this weight, the second time when I went from like 179 to like 155, proper shredded, I was eating like 1,600 to 1,700 calories a day while lifting 6 days a week, while doing 45 minutes of cardio 7 days a week. So that's how much that I can eat to lose weight. Like if I got up to like 2,100 or 2,200 calories, even with that training program, I was gaining weight. So for me, it's really, really tough to stay shredded, and I have to eat really creatively, do a lot of cardio just to maintain this level. So that's why I personally am struggling with it, of trying to gain weight, because I know in my psyche, it fucks with my head. When I'm trying to gain weight, I get nervous and I get anxious when I see the number going up and I see my abs getting fluffier. I worry about going back to that 215 pound guy that a lot of people saw for so many years. And I don't want that. But at the same time, I want to stay ripped and I want to put size on. So it's really about a balancing act and finding that sort of middle ground that's a realistic expectation for you and a body fat that you can sustain year round. Now, after the last year, I've gotten a little bit more of a healthy relationship with food where I'm able to maintain like 10 to 12% body fat. I'm not exactly hungry all the time. I'm not struggling, but it still allows me to enjoy foods I like, travel, see cool places, and not be so worried about staying in shape the whole time. So my advice, like I said, double how much weight you need to get to lose to get to your goal of weight loss, shredded, beach lean, stage ready, whatever it is. And then the other thing I would say is literally double the amount of time you're gonna plan for it. A lot of people think like, all right, May, June comes around, time to get shredded for summer. You're starting way too late. You're gonna maybe diet for a month, lose like 5 pounds, and it's not gonna be enough. You're not gonna be where you want for summer. So think of your fitness as more of like a long-term lifestyle versus just like flipping a switch for 3 months and then you're done. It's an everyday battle. Like when you see someone who is truly shredded, don't think that they just work out once a week for most of the year, and then 2 months of the year they work out 4 times a week and get shredded for the summer. No, that lifestyle is a shift in mindset and behavior every single day. You're getting steps every day. You're watching what you're eating every single day. You're exercising every day. You're walking as much as you can every day. It's, really, really fit people and really healthy people adopt a completely different daily routine once you're into this flow. So for me this year, I was able to keep my abs despite living in Colombia, Miami for spring break, Portugal, Toronto, you name it. I was pretty ripped all year round. So it's, now that I've built this foundation, I can do this no matter where I am. So that's pretty much the end of this video. And really the big takeaways I hope was helpful is that it just takes a long time and to set a realistic pacing and expectations. Waking up in the morning and saying 2 months from now, I'm gonna be shredded. Probably not. You're realistically looking at a couple years. If you're not trained already, if you're like in average shape, it's gonna take a long time, but that's part of the process. And my advice would just be, don't try and focus on the end goal, try and enjoy the ride and the journey along the way. Take pictures as you go so you can see your progress. There's really, you're gonna have lapses in motivation while you're going through this. And if you're able to look back on previous stages and see, wow, I've made a lot of progress, it's gonna give you that motivation when it's low. With that being said, hopefully this was somewhat useful to see my journey going from fat to fit to shredded to whatever I am now. If it was, feel free to give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section below whether you agreed, disagreed, any opinions on this. Should I touch grass? Should I fuck off? No hard feelings, let it out. Otherwise, my name is Alex. Welcome back to Lifting Nomad. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.